what the messy middle is all about. Like, how can you show up as exactly as you are, knowing that that can still be your best self without it like looking a specific way?
Nobody else is going to post that messy middle photo of you. You have to be the one to do that. You have to be the one to share that story and that situation. Like nobody else knows that except for you. So sitting around waiting on the perfect moment, that moment's never going to happen.
And now I see that as a superpower because it is creating space for other women to be like, oh, I could do that. I could do something like that. Maybe not as much as her because she's a little much, but I could show up in my own way. And that's safe for me.
Just showing up with her vulnerability is going to inspire others to be vulnerable as well and to
Yes.
live in their most authentic self and not hide behind this identity or this facade of perfection. Like we're all going through some real shit all the time.
Welcome to Going Goddess.
I'm Silver, and this is Sherry.
This is a show all about becoming the main character of your own life.
Taking up space, chasing joy, a little bit of whimsy, and a little bit of sexy.
And we share our stories so you know you're not alone in yours.
And maybe you can skip a few of the mistakes that we made.
Because we're goddesses in progress too.
Still becoming right alongside you.
Welcome to Going Goddess.
Hey, goddesses. Welcome back to Going Goddess. I'm your host, Cherry, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hey guys, Silver Luna.
Yes. And today we are going to be talking about the messy middle of becoming your very best self and letting yourself be seen, something that I think a lot of us are working on and we might always be working on. We've been told to keep ourselves small, hidden, cutesy and demure in the corner, don't take up too much space. And something that Silver, Luna, and I have both worked on a lot throughout our whole lives, and especially over the last few years, is letting ourselves be seen and taking up space. So we're really excited to have a conversation about that today.
Yes, I'm super excited to be talking about letting ourselves be seen, the messy middle. We talk a lot about going through the middle, but not about the experiences in the middle. So I'm really excited for it, Jerry.
Yes, me too. Me too. Especially because like I'm hot right now. I'm sweating. I'm like, I feel like I'm in the messy middle. It's hot out here in Oklahoma. It is not picture perfect. And I've been having a lot of conversations about taking imperfect action. And I think that's really like what the messy middle is all about. Like, how can you show up as exactly as you are, knowing that that can still be your best self without it like looking a specific way? So, Silver, to get us started, what does it actually mean to let yourself be seen versus just being seen?
Let yourself be seen is to put yourself out there. To me, it's to show up and to show who you are vulnerably without any hesitation or without any withdrawals. And, you just show up as your most authentic self versus just being seen is showing up and just letting people see like what you are there. Like you're doing the thing as business as usual, but you're not actually showing up and putting your pizzazz into it. You're not actually like letting yourself be seen in the thing. You're doing the thing to check the box, basically. That's how I
Mm,
see being seen
yeah.
versus letting yourself be seen. What about you, Cherry?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I actually was having a conversation with a goddess this morning who is working on creating like her master class for her coaching program. And she was like, how I'm still working on letting letting myself be seen and knowing like how much to share with people versus like oversharing, or like am I sharing things that like they're private to me, they're very personal. And it just made me think about how like when we show up vulnerably and we let ourselves be seen, we're taking up space and sharing like our vulnerability and our authenticity in a way that's like, here I am, take it or leave it. The right people will absolutely take it. And the right people to leave will leave it. And um I was thinking about that concept of letting yourself be seen versus just showing up and doing the thing, but still hiding behind like another identity or an expectation of like others and like showing up in a specific way. So, like, just being seen, like you're just in the room, but letting yourself be seen is you taking up space in that place.
Just showing your authentic self is it can be so terrifying. And also, I think it's really important that we do exactly like you're saying, show up in those rooms, take up space, and let yourself be seen because doing that shows others that it's okay to be in the messy middle too. Every time we post these finished products of these photos of ourselves, these finished art pieces, whatever it is, it's a finished product. It's not the messy middle. We're not showing what it took us to get to where we are.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times we don't want to do that because we're afraid of rejection or we're afraid of judgment. And the truth is, like, we are all in the messy middle. Like, for 99% of the time, it's not even like the middle, it's like the messy most of it. And then you get that, like, your finished product. And that's what we want to post online because that's what, like, quote unquote, looks the best. But what is actually going to resonate with people is like that authentic, like it wasn't perfect getting to where I am and I'm still not perfect. And, so when did you first realize that confidence wasn't something that you necessarily feel and then act on, but something that you build by acting it first?
I realized that confidence wasn't something that I would feel first and then act on whenever I started posting onto platforms, and it was so, so scary. At first, you're not confident. The first thing that I thought whenever I posted my very first body positivity post was, man, people are going to think I'm such a slut. I was like so scared that people were going to think that I was being too risque. I was suddenly being very like slutty on the internet, and it's just very vulnerable. And you, I don't know, it's just think about the perceptions that others could have of you especially whenever you're trying on something new. So after posting those and then getting a good reaction and then posting them and getting no reaction, but still loving the way that I looked in those photos and wanting to post them more, I realized that it's because I was confident in myself in those photos that I wanted to keep posting it, not because of I was looking for the validation. It was always that I
Mm.
was feeling better about myself as I took more photos of myself and I wanted to see myself look better. I was like, wow. And then as I started to lean more into my spiritual awakening and learning that I myself am a good person and I can heal myself and stop being, you know, what's the word? Just complacent in life, partying,
Mhm.
enjoying life and not really
Mhm.
like trying too hard to like, make the next move or make myself better and heal myself. I suddenly realized whenever I started gaining more confidence that I was important and I should be working on those next steps towards myself. And I stopped caring so much about the party and I started caring more about my health and my well-being.
Mm. That's so awesome. So it was like taking that leap of faith to show up for yourself is what like set you on the journey to or on the path, like that Goddess in Progress path. But it
Definitely.
was like almost like faking it till you make it at the beginning of just like I'm just gonna keep showing up and like letting myself be seen. Totally. Yeah,
100%.
I sorry.
Well, I said 100%. It was really scary. I remember the first time letting myself be seen was a body positivity post, and it was me in a bra and like some fishnet stocking things that were all the way up to like my neck and then like some wings that I had. And not really that big of a deal if you look at my page today. But at the time, very serious.
Yeah. Well, and like so celebrate you for that. That's so badass because like you loving your body and letting yourself be seen in that way creates space for other women to be like, I could love my body too. Like, what if I just let myself be sexy? What if I dropped the judgments of like that I have around this and like the judgments that I feel like other people might have and just know that like I'm worth feeling really good and showing that off. And there are many different ways that we can let ourselves be seen and like in our vulnerability. And for you, like very physically, um, a lot of times for me, yes, physically, but and also I share like a lot of things. I feel like just my creativity and being seen and like silliness or sharing like real shit like this podcast is a huge lesson in us letting ourselves be seen and just like trusting that this is going to land with some people and some people are not going to get it at all. And that's okay because like we're worth sharing. Our stories are worth sharing. Our experience is needed by some people for sure. And I totally resonate with that, that it is this like fake it till you make it kind of thing. And then you realize like down the road, you're like, oh my God, like, look, I'm doing it. I've been doing it. And this was so scary at first. And now is so natural to me. But it does require that like jump of like, I'm going to do the damn thing.
Yes, it does. It does. What do you consider the difference between being visible versus being vulnerable?
Mm, I think being visible is just, um, well, maybe I'll start with being vulnerable is being authentic and showing up imperfectly and showing up, yeah, real, like raw, honest, without hiding something. We can be visible and like quote unquote perfect. Like you only see this side of me, or I only show up if I look a certain way, or if I have all the right things to say. And vulnerable says I'm going to show up anyway. Like it's more important that I show up than I show up perfectly. And that has been it's like once you learn that, it is an absolute superpower because that is what attracts the right people in your life. And I've talked about this a lot recently, showing up on these whatnot lives to sell jewelry. And sometimes I'm the only person in the room and it feels very vulnerable. And also because like the lives are broadcasted on YouTube and Instagram. So someone like hops on, they see that I'm just a girl in my sunroom talking about jewelry to nobody. And I believe that when we show up for ourselves, like it's when we show up for ourselves and we continue to do that, we're strengthening like our self-love and we're showing ourselves that we are worthy of showing up for and like just reinforcing that. And then eventually the right people begin to show up for us too. And I have so many proof points of that. But the vulnerability part is the intention of being seen, is like my intention in being seen right now is authenticity rather than visibility. As my intention in being visible is so that people can look at me and or something. Does that make sense? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
Okay.
definitely makes sense. And for the record, I celebrate you so hard for all of your whatnot sales and showing up every
You.
time that you do for your lives because you are on lives pretty frequently and you want to be a sparkle dealer and you're being a freaking sparkle dealer.
Yes.
So that is amazing. Fake it till
Thank
you make it.
you.
You don't even have to fake it. You just showed up. And like you said, you do have those proof points. You are very much a proof point in just showing up and people will show up with you in those rooms, which is amazing.
Thank you. I do feel that way now. Like I'm on it a lot because it is an algorithm based like app. So like I'm getting people in there and now I'm seeing like, oh, there are people that are coming back and it's because of who I am. Like yes, I have beautiful pieces and in like the reviews and things, it's like, oh, it's the cherry frequency. And so if I get to be an example to other women that like when you continue to show up for yourself and like this is an identity that I freaking chose and I like say it. And I said it like the other day, we're in the Lionsgate portal right now. And so 8/8, like one of the most potent days for manifesting. And throughout the day, I just kept saying it like I make millions of dollars creating, curating, and selling jewelry to women, empowering them to connect with their sparkle on the inside and out. I make millions of dollars empowering women to connect with their sparkle. And I didn't make millions of dollars on Saturday, but I did have my best show ever. And it was like, Wow, what a cool proof point that like I chose this and I choose this and I'm showing up as such, even if I'm the only one in the freaking room. And it's happening and it's going to continue to happen because I'm only a few months in. So thank you so much.
So it really is amazing. I love to watch it. I love to watch you thrive, and it makes you so happy.
It does.
It's awesome. It gives you a creative outlet. I remember whenever we first started this podcast and you didn't think that you were creative. You didn't think you were an artist. And it's like, what?
I know, like I'm like dropping things now.
Dropping
Yeah.
your sparkles.
Y'all want to see my
You are always in
sparkles?
sparkles.
Look at this. It's like the sparkliest phone holder ever.
It's amazing.
But yeah, no, totally. And now like I have orders for bracelets and like hat, like totally. And it has been because I believed in that identity and I continue to believe it even when it felt like I was the only one, except for I wasn't because I've always had you.
You've never been
And
me.
I've always had G. And such an incredible like group of women to support me. And when that imposter syndrome comes in, like I literally get to punch it in the face because it's like I get to punch it in the face with all my giant ass rings and and my proof points of no, we're doing it. And so listeners, I hope that this encourages you to continue to show up for yourself because you are the number one person to show up for in your own life. And then the right people, they begin to show up for you too. Yes. And that's something that I've seen with you and your modeling. And so I would love to know like you're literally seen all the time in so many different ways. Like you try on different outfits, different poses, like different prompts. Does that make it easier or harder to let people see the unfinished or unsure parts of you? Like how do you overcome that in a shoot or even like online after you post the thing?
Definitely can make it harder to want to share the not so nice parts because I can look at my grid on Instagram and see all of these beautiful photos that I've taken. And then I think back to my behind the scenes photos and I'm like, man, it's just me in a selfie. And um and then I remember like the beauty is in the journey. And I do post all of my behind the scenes to my stories, but I have made it a point to continue to post regular photos to my Instagram. If I see that it starts to look a little too perfect, I'll make sure that I post a post of just like me in the mirror or me working out or doing something different because it definitely makes it appear as though you're trying to put on a persona of a perfect polished life. And I never want to make it look like I'm living in a very like polished way. I am very much in the messy middle all the time, as everyone else is, the middle mess, the messy most of it.
Yes.
Um, but like you said, I do resonate with my intent being to be seen. And the intent behind taking the photos is to put myself out there and to be seen in a way that I never was in the past. Something that I always looked up to, but I always felt too scared or timid to ask for. And so I found a way to do that myself and meet new people and meet new connections and take the chance and get really cool photos in the process. And so that's made it a lot easier to share the really good things whenever I get the really good photos. But sometimes it can make it hard to share those middle posts, those middle moments. But those are where the beauty is at.
Well, those and and
And the
the
posts. I mean,
yeah,
there's
like, oh
also
my
beauty at the
gosh.
end.
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. But yeah, thank you for saying that. That's super real because yeah, I think you more than most people other than other models, it's like why would I post something that's not this fire ass photo of me? Like but I love that you're intentional about like look, I'm real and I want to post real things because like that's such leadership. That's such a great example for other women and on so many levels, like to post like hot, spicy photos of yourself and to post the realness that it's all part of the journey. It's all part of who you are. So that's
It's
awesome.
It's very important to share all of the parts. So you mentioned that something that I recognize and that I think about pretty frequently is that you're right. People are not going to post those of you. So those messy middle moments that you have that are just memories in your phone, Something I used to do is wait until I would see my pictures of myself in the background of other people's photos, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I was like, I was there. You can see me. Like, look at that." And then I realized that people weren't posting pictures of me. That's another part of like why I just started venturing into like photos and modeling, is that I would never find any photos of me in the background at events. And I was like, okay, well, I'm obviously not that interesting. Well, that's not necessarily the case. It's just that, people want to post pictures of themselves. And as I started to grow into my confidence and realize, well, yeah, people are just posting themselves. Nobody else is going to post that messy middle photo of you. You have to be the one to do that. You have to be the one to share that story and that situation. Like nobody else knows that except for you. So sitting around waiting on the perfect moment, that moment's never going to happen.
So true. Oh, that's such a good point. That it's up to us. It's up to us. And we deserve to be seen, and we deserve to take up space, and we deserve to post the photos. And it's not up to other people to do that for us and to validate us in that way. Like once that my validation came from within, whew, the freedom, like
Uh-huh.
just to be exactly who I am at any point in time is just incredible. And like I get dressed up for me, like I don't even have to like go out and be seen all the
I love it.
like in my outfits. Although I do take outfit of the day photos because it's fun. But yeah.
So something that I resonate with you with is that I also feel like I get to be my most authentic version of myself all the time, which means, except for in a professional setting, in which case I'm a professional version of myself. But other times during any of my like hobbies or my downtimes, I am always the most authentic version of me. For you, Cherry, is there a version of you that shows up during specific moments that doesn't show up anywhere else? Do you harness a specific version of Cherry like your lives?
I I think about that sometimes and I'm like, actually no, like this is Cherry all the time. And I feel myself like turn on a little bit when I know that I'm being watched. Like I'm a ham. Like I love being on screen and I love attention. Straight up. Like that's why I go live sometimes. I'm like, yeah, because maybe someone will watch it. And so I like thrive in that. When that's my most authentic self. Like she thrives in that. And so when I'm not feeling good to do that, that's when I know, like, okay, I need a lot more rest. I need to chill out. Like, I love the process of getting ready for it. Um, and I really don't think that I am that much different. I'm talking about the same stuff on lives as I am in the magnetic community, as I am with you, as I am with G. I don't even really know, like putting on airs, like even in like a corporate setting, like I'm just talking about different things. But my authenticity like shines through in that. And I know that yours does too. Um, and so yeah, I was thinking about that and it's like, no, people don't really, there aren't different versions of Cherry. There's just Cherry is how I feel. Like,
I love
yeah. And like, I have like different moods and stuff. Like if I'm tired, like if I'm tired on whatnot, I'm tired on the pod, like, everyone knows how I'm feeling at any point in time, but I don't believe I have other versions.
That's awesome. That's
Mm.
awesome. How was it to acclimate to being on lives very frequently? What was it like to just jump on, no edit, no do-over, you just do it?
Girl, it kind of feels the same as like us doing the podcast. And that was something I was talking with someone today. Like, imperfect action, imperfect action. The more that you take imperfect action, the easier it gets. And so I think back to my first live on Whatnot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like my setup was awful. I didn't have like the camera correctly. I don't even know what I was wearing. I didn't sell a damn thing that first show. Like, and I also like I'm someone who I don't do a whole lot of research. I'm just like, if I get an inspiration for something, I'm like, I'm gonna go try that thing. Like, I can think of so many opportunities, situations where I had no idea what was even going on, but I was like, sure, I'll do it. So like now that I'm on Whatnot all the time, like watching other people's shows and stuff, I'm like, I can't believe that I one day was like, I'm gonna go live and try to sell my bracelets. And like now there's a community and it's amazing. And like I feel like I'm building a community that comes to my shows and they're much more polished. And now I'm understanding what I'm doing. But like, yeah, because you and I have like so practiced imperfect action over and over and over again, especially with this pod. Um, it's just it's kind of like, you know, like why not me? What if I crush it? Like why not me? That's always been a question. Why not me? Like everyone else who is famous is doing all the things that we want to do. Like why couldn't that be possible for us as well? And the only reason that we don't think it's possible is because of our limiting beliefs. And so if I have done the work, like I say that I have, then I'm not going to limit myself by saying, oh, I couldn't do that just because I couldn't do that. There's nothing, I'm like, what? I'll try being president. Like, what do you want? Like, and like a silly one is when someone gave me a light whip for the first time, I didn't know shit about flow. I didn't know anything, but I was a go-go dancer at the time, dancing at EDM shows in Knoxville. And so I'm on stage and someone gives me this light whip. And it was not flow. Cherry was doing whatever she wanted to do. I'm whipping this thing around. I'm like doing like loop-de-loop. Girl, it was it was not flow. It was not how you do a light whip, not even at all.
Did you get
So
a video?
I think I do have a video of it somewhere. I will send it to you.
That's so
Like,
funny.
and it's at an EDM show, so like you know, there's a bunch of people who know what the light whip is for, and I'm up there just like dancing with it. And the testament to like, if you have confidence, you can freaking do anything. I was like, I look hot, not knowing.
All you need is the confidence.
Fake it till you make it. And now I'm like, oh shit, like now I know how to use one. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I can I can relate to that, even with flow in performing and being on stage is something that I'm completely unfamiliar with. But the first time I stepped on stage to light my fans, I also look at that video pretty frequently and how like I was just so awkward with holding my hands out, like not even like just scared to even spin the fans. And now to where I'm at now, it's like I take up the whole stage. I can walk on stage and I can go from left to right, front to back, and look at the camera and make eye contact with people. And that's something I never could have done a year and a half ago. So, and just
mm,
being able to be seen, it comes with practice and showing up. And it doesn't matter if there's, like you said, there's one person, there's 100 people, or there's no people. Just showing up for yourself and doing the thing and allowing yourself to be seen with that intent to be seen for who
yes,
you are vulnerably is just so powerful, and it can take you anywhere, literally
yes.
anywhere.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's okay also if if you're new at something, to every like 30 seconds yell, I'm new. Like,
Yes. No, seriously,
like
that's a thing.
to yourself or anyone else because, like so many of us hold ourselves back from things because we think we need to have the certification or before I did all the dancing, I needed professional dance lessons or for you with the flow, like you needed to have all these lessons and do it perfectly. And but then we give, beginners so much grace, but we don't give that grace to ourselves. So if you need to yell that you're new, yell it as often as you need to remind yourself that you were going to suck at it first. Everyone sucked at the thing first before they got good at it. They had to. The cost of excellence is embarrassment. Like the cost of excellence is sucking. Like you're going to, and you just got to swallow that pill every time. And you'll surprise yourself
Yeah,
because, you never know how fast you're going to catch on.
there's always going to be a messy middle for everything.
Yes.
Everything from going on live shows to performing to any kind of outlet that you're going to try new for the first time. You're going to have to suck at the beginning, have that messy middle, and then you'll be great at it eventually. And I
Yes.
know for sure whenever I started fire dancing, I told everybody there that I was new to it. I would even tell them I just lit my fans for the first time last week. Like,
Yeah.
don't judge me too hard. I'm not very good at it. But at the end of the day, nobody else knows what my tricks are. I know what my tricks are. They're just watching the flow. They just want to see how you look and how you handle the moment. That's all.
Or just like watch
Just
someone with
watch you.
fire, like straight
Exactly.
up. Like they don't know. And that's like the whole difference between the people who do the damn thing and the people who don't. They just they just did the damn thing. They didn't do it perfectly. They just freaking did it. And that was when we started the podcast, someone was like, "That's so cool that you guys did that." Like I just it feels like so much. And it's like it literally is just you just gotta get started and then you refine along the way. And then you get better. But yeah, totally. They just wanted to see you with fire. And they don't know, the person sitting there watching doesn't know. Like, they might not know unless, maybe they're a connoisseur of it or whatever. But
Yeah. I
there
mean,
are way more people just sitting watching.
exactly. People just want to see a pretty show. Most of the time, people just want to see what you have to offer. Whether it's
Mm,
my fire show, it's your sparkles, it doesn't matter what it is. The people are coming to a platform or to an event to connect or to see something. They're trying to find something. And it's better just to be yourself and to be authentic and vulnerable in doing so, so that you can grow in doing that instead of being scared and hunkering away.
yes.
Just go out and let it shine.
Yes, and, like, the authenticity is what will hook people. Like, if you are working on being seen because you have a goal of connecting with people or building a community or building a business, the thing that is going to resonate with people is not the perfection. It is your authenticity, like your realness in it. And honestly, the story. The reason we watch documentaries and behind the scenes and stuff is because we want to see what that life is like and like what was the journey. That's why people read books. Like they want to know the journey instead of just like, and look at this couple, they lived happily ever after. And look at this couple, they lived happily ever after. Like the whole point of the movie, of the book, of like the story is that whole journey. And if we're not willing to even show up in that way, um you're really narrowing like who is going to connect with you and your ability to connect with others. Silver, I didn't ask you, is there a version of you that shows up on stage that you don't let show up anywhere else, or are there versions of you, like different versions of you, would you say?
I don't think that there's a version of me different that shows up on stage other than maybe I try to be more polished and less rambunctious. um, but I'm also working on getting to the point of actually performing. So I don't have any set choreos or anything. So I don't want to say never.
Yeah.
Like I do intend on having a persona to put on stage because it gives me an outlet to like kind of create a different version of me, or not even a different version of me, just a different character completely, which I'm really excited about having that creative freedom. So I guess technically that will be a different persona on stage, but ultimately whenever I go out and I play with my fans or fire, um, or any kind of flow arts, I usually just go out on stage with the intent to be better than I was the last time. Never an
Mm,
intent to be a different person or to be a polished version, just to be a better version than I was the last time that I went on stage.
yeah, totally. That makes sense. And also, if I think about like we can create these personas, like you said, and when I was stepping into what I believe is like my best self timeline, my best self identity, and I changed my name to Cherry, that was because every time I talked about Cherry, when people are calling me Cherry, and I'm like, it's not just a nickname now. Like Cherry is the woman who is the coach, is the sparkle dealer, is the one living her best life. Like, and there's so much. There's messy most of it, and also like that was the identity that I chose. That like, what am I trying to say? Not had it all together, but just like this version of me that is like can do the damn thing. Not that like previous versions of me couldn't do that. But I think like we can put on a persona of like like if I was performing or something, I think that would be fun to just be like like, yeah, I have it all together and I travel the world and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and like she is perfect, but like but we know that's like a persona that you're putting on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also like the idea of having different like I have a performer persona that I have like that I have the moves like together, I guess, but to be free about it. Like I think that that's really the persona that I ever want to portray. Like not necessarily that I want to be the best self or the better, even like I just said, the better version of myself. It's not even that I'm trying to outdo what I last did. It's trying to go into it. Whenever I say better, I mean more comfortable, more flowy, because it might be better, but that doesn't mean technical. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have better tricks or better moves. I could go into it one day with a lot of chaos in that day, and my moves might have been technically better, but the actual flow itself might not have been that great because I wasn't completely all in it, but I like it was just chaos. Where and then the next week I could go and I could put my full self in it and it could be amazing. But that flow itself, because I came together and it was cohesive, it was a flow. It wasn't necessarily that the tricks were nailed. It's that it was just a thing that I was able to do comfortably and cohesively better than I was last week. That's always the
Yeah.
goal.
I love that. And that makes me think about so much of letting yourself be seen and authenticity and being comfortable with being vulnerable and comfortable with imperfect action is your nervous system integrating and knowing that it's safe for you to be seen and safe for you to get on stage and safe to move your body in this way with the fire and that way. So, like, as you were saying that, it was just kind of dawning on me that it's like, oh, like it was about her body feeling safer in those moments, feeling more integrated in those movements. And that is like another proof point of how like we're progressing in all of these things.
Yes.
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good call out. And that kind of relating that to your sales and whatnot, same thing. The more comfortable you got and the more that you saw different things working, those were your proof points. And so you got more comfortable with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Nice.
And not like, and when people show up, instead of being like, what are they doing here? It's like, of course they're here. Like, of course the room is full right now. And okay, now the room has one person in it. And then, 15 minutes later there's like 20 something people or whatever. And all of it, my nervous system feels safe and that has been so cool. And that doesn't happen without taking that imperfect action and like trusting that I'm safe to be seen and vulnerable and that I'm here for a reason, even if I'm the only one in the room. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Cherry, you're also a life coach. How do you reconcile your life coaching, which has very has a lot of answers? You're supposed to know a lot of answers. How do you reconcile that with being a live seller, which is reacting in the moment and go, go, go and imperfect action?
Mm. Honestly, I really treat them the same way because I talk a lot about the things in like the magnetic community and on my human design calls. I talk about a lot of the same things on the whatnot, the jewelry selling lives, because I consider myself to be a sparkle dealer. I empower women to find and connect with their sparkle on the inside and out. So both of those are like two sides of the same coin, whether it's working with someone to like ignite their inner spark and see themselves as the shiny, amazing goddess that they are, or it's helping them show up as such in what they want to adorn themselves with. I talk about, those same things, and I really don't know where someone would say, "Wow, that woman Cherry is so polished all the time." I don't know one space that they would say that in. Because that's the whole thing for me. Like I'm not going to show up even with the like air of perfection or I have it all together because I know that that's not It's not real for me. It's not authentic. And that's not what's going to actually connect me with people. So in everything I do, it's sparkle, joy, and whimsy. And, that sparkle is sometimes, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. Growing up, I was loud and like energetic and too much, a lot, too much, and like told to be quieter. My laugh was too loud, or I was just too much. And now I see that as a superpower because it is creating space for other women to be like, oh, I could do that. I could do something like that. Maybe not as much as her because she's a little much, but I could show up in my own way, and that's safe for me. And so that's like the sparkle part, like bright and shiny, and then joy. Like I'm here to show everyone that we get to choose something different. We get to choose joy over fear. We get to choose joy over lack mentality, over these like limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, or that life has to look a certain way because that's all you've ever known. And I'm very freaking whimsical in my coaching and in my sparkle dealership. So, um,
I do love that you have your sparkle dealership for the inside and for the outside.
yes, it feels like my purpose it's continuing to evolve, like down this same path. And it's just like being more and more solidified into, oh my goodness, all of the things that I loved, as a kid, and all of the things that I was told to like tone down are actually the things that are like my tools and my tool belt on my Goddess in Progress journey and this path on purpose. So,
Man, that is so crazy. It is wild how the things that we were told whenever we were little that we should tone down, tamper down, are the things that end up being our greatest assets as we're adults.
the very thing.
Isn't that
Yes.
crazy?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, it's so wild.
defy the
So,
patriarchy.
what was that?
So defy the patriarchy.
Right? 100, and like bust out of that matrix, baby. Like
Yes.
seriously. So, Silver, as an artist, do you find it easier to be vulnerable through your work or to just say the vulnerable thing directly?
I think I just say the vulnerable thing directly. I found that it's easier to, I think they're one and the same. My artwork comes from me and my experiences, and I don't usually like speak through my artwork, so to speak, but I definitely like I let myself be portrayed completely. I'm thinking in like fire dancing and even my macrame. Whenever I think about macrame, that was pretty big risk whenever I started transitioning to making macrame clothing. Similar to like you were always told to tone it down because you were too loud. I was always too voluptuous. Like I always was very
Mm.
big chested. And so like I would always have to be like I was very sexy. I think I've talked about this on the pod a few times. Like I was taking supplements, diet supplements in high school and trying to be very thin and trying to look as hot as I possibly could. And then, as I grew out of that and as I started like doing as I made my body positivity post, for example, I became very nervous about posting too much of my body because I was told to tone it down in high school. I was too much, and that's whenever people was looking slutty or whatever, and so I had this perception that I wanted to prevent. And then I grew out of that and into my 20s, and then I started making macrame, and I leaned more into the macrame clothing. And a lot of why I leaned into, I guess, the dresses and the fashion is because it was very provocative. I could wear it and be very minimal and not to worry about it. Like I made an outfit for myself and I know that it looks good. And
Yes.
so I guess maybe I did start off more vulnerable in my work, but then as it progressed, that vulnerability transitioned into me. And like I felt, like I said earlier, became more confident in myself, in my body. I became less caring of what other people thought of those body positivity posts. I started posting more risque things. And then it made me more comfortable in the macrame outfits I was sharing. And then suddenly those outfits didn't really seem that bad. And so my
Mm.
vulnerability actually became like my authenticity all the time, as opposed to me just sharing sometimes through my artwork.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah, but it's been also very freeing because now I feel very um able to wear whatever I want and not like I'm very confident. I don't have to worry about what other people think about me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Not at all. Not at all. There's no point in it because like the people that are judging us for showing up authentically and showing up however we want to are judging themselves just as much. And I'm not here to like admire or emulate anyone who isn't living their fullest life, full of joy, confidence, purpose, and whimsy. So, like, that means the people that judge, I'm like, I have no interest.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like, it just rolls right off.
Those people are not for us. Cherry, do you see a difference between, I should say, is there a difference between being seen as an artist and being seen as a coach? And if so, which one
Mm,
feels more exposing?
I'm sure for some people there really are. I guess it's like, what's your perception of either? For me, I would more than anything want to be seen as an inspiration. And so if I can inspire someone to show up more fully authentically in their life and I can talk them through that through coaching or ask them the right questions rather through that, like through coaching, that's amazing. If I can get them to ask that about themselves of like, look at all of the jewels she has on, or look at her crazy outfit. What could I do to show up a little bit more like whimsical or authentic in my life? Um, and inspire them to do that. And that my favorite compliment is you inspired me, fill in the sentence. So whether that is like through our conversations in human design calls and coaching calls, or it's through the outfit of the day videos, dopamine dressing details of the day videos that I do. Um, so I don't know. I don't really think so. And I wouldn't want someone necessarily to like separate that and to say, well, I see her as a coach, but not as an artist. Um, because my whole thing is like curate your life all the way through.
Definitely. And I love that answer. It's a great answer that you'd rather be seen as an inspiration, not as an artist or a coach. Yeah. And I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be or the other. It could be and, but definitely not or, because you don't want to
Yes.
be an artist or a coach.
Yeah.
I love your answer that you would rather be an inspiration. And I think that your actions definitely speak to that for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it just I really do. So, Silver, I consider you, an artist, a community builder, a model, a performer, and also an activist. Has your activism ever forced you to be seen before you felt ready? Whether that be like politically, publicly, personally, or maybe even in your art, have you ever experienced being seen before you were ready to?
Don't think so. I don't think I've ever been seen before I was ready. I think most of the times I'm thinking the big checkpoints in my life have been really important moments that have needed to happen for one reason or another. For example, the body positivity post. That was kicked off by activism. My body, my choice is what spearheaded the entire post. It was at the very beginning of 2015 or 2016 during, right before all of the craziness began. And that was ultimately what kicked it off. So I wouldn't say though that it was before I was ready to be seen. I think it was just the right time. That was the time that I needed to be seen and I was ready to share that part of myself and start learning who I was.
Mm,
And every other activist moment that I've had, thinking back to like the rallies, I display my art in the form of making t-shirts or making signs. And those are all because I have every intent to be seen. I have every intent to share that this message is really important to me, that it's my body, it's my choice, that every life deserves to have the same equivalent health care. They deserve to have the same access to the same resources that I have. And those things have all been pivotal in like my convictions and who I am as a person. So by displaying that in my artwork, I think it's really important because that's how people know who you are. That's how they know what you care about. And I can share my art all day long, but if it's only ever impacting myself, then I don't feel like personally I've done enough with my mark on the world, which is why
Mm.
activism is so important to me. So I do try to incorporate that into things like, for example, my shoots, my modeling, for example. I made my 4th of July shirt said fuck a ballroom, which was inspired by you, Cherry. um,
Which was inspired by
Instagram.
God ain't petty, but I am. That y'all go look up that brand. It's such an awesome brand. They
Yes,
have
thank you.
hilarious shirts that are so needed at this time.
Yes, thank you for the
Yeah.
call out. So that shirt was amazing. So I was able to put that on my shirt for my pictures, and it gives you a way to like say things without saying the things in your artwork, which is awesome.
Yeah. Conversation starters and yeah, also like the activism. And I so appreciate that about you. And I know we've talked about it before, but like you willing to be seen talking about your beliefs in like controversial areas. And I'm like, but the things that you're like, it's controversial because politics just are, but not from what you're saying. Like, I'm Camp Silver Luna on this. Like, and if you're not, y'all, you're wrong. We're not going to get political on this. But, anyways, you have changed how I think about politics and activism and community in the way that you let yourself be seen. And in your activism, in your messaging, and yeah, in your vulnerability in the way that you share things. And then also, yeah, in your community building and like hosting like that event you hosted for Venezuela. Like, I'm so impressed by you and I'm so honored to be your friend. Because you're someone who doesn't just talk about it, like you do the damn thing. And
Yes,
that's big work.
thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
I
girl.
definitely am a big fan of put your money where your mouth is. If you're going to talk about it, be somebody that's
Be
going to do
about it.
something about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Um, Cherry, what's something that's come out of you live? A joke, a story, or a moment that has surprised you?
Oh, man, we're laughing on there a lot. That's been a lot of fun. And I don't know about like I'm like a joke. I don't know like what someone would think is a joke. What I have noticed is that there are certain people though that will come onto my live and like the chat it's lit. Like it's so fun. Whether it's people like, just chatting like with each other and like joking around, but honestly, over the past couple of shows, I've had people come in and say like I'm having a tough week and I'm just really glad to be here. And then the way that like community, honestly, y'all, if you are thinking about selling anything, I can't speak highly enough of Whatnot. Like it's a wild community. I don't know anywhere else that like you can actually make friendships that you're not seeing. A lot of times you're not seeing people. Most of the time, like the camera is flipped on looking at the products. I'm someone who has the camera on me because like I told you guys, I really like attention. And also it's the cherry frequency, so there's something to be said for that. But um people showing up for each other, encouraging each other, and spending money on each other. Literally, like giving their hard-earned money to people, like buying, stuff. But like you just said, Silver Luna, like put your money where your mouth is. Like there are people that are going through hard things on there and that have shared that. And then to see, like I was on a live the other day and this woman, she's incredible. She has like supported me so much on my shows. She's brought other people in that have really supported me and she's going through something really hard. Like her husband is getting sued for $1 million and they have 6 kids. And yes, so like I can't even imagine. So he can't even work in his field right now. And so their income is whatnot. Well, on this live, people started this tip train and they were just blessing her and blessing her and blessing her with all of this stuff. And she was just like sobbing for like 2 hours because it was just like so much. But like to see people rally for people like that, it's like we need more of that in life, for sure. And it was really cool to experience that. So to know that certain people come on to my shows because they know it's a safe space to like share what's going on and that they're going to be like encouraged by other, it's mostly women in the chat. Um, that's been something that's been really surprising. I thought it was just going to be like, I don't know, like QVC or something. Like I'm just like, here are my things and like it's not personal at all, but actually no, it's like a very community driven situation.
And that's really
So that's been
inspiring. And that's really awesome for, if we think about the strength of that other woman, she showed so much strength and so much resilience coming into your chat and to even to talk about it with people on whatnot, and just showing up with her vulnerability is going to inspire others to be vulnerable as well and to
yes.
live in their most authentic self and not hide behind this identity or this facade of perfection. Like, we are all going through some real shit all the time.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, exactly right. And like that is proof, like there's a proof point right there. Like this woman is beautiful. She looks like she's got it all together. And then she like just, drops some realness on us and is like, no, my life is not perfect. Like, yeah, you see my shows are full of people and the struggle is real. And then the way people just were like, we're going to show up for you right now, like in such a big way. Like that happens over and over again when we do that. And so many of us don't let ourselves show up in that way. And it wasn't a trauma dump and it wasn't a, pity party. It was just like, I just want you guys to know this is what's going on in my life because this is a safe space for me. And yeah. So,
That's so
um,
awesome.
yeah,
Just
it's been
showing
really
up
cool.
and being there, and people will show up for you.
Yes.
Just gotta do
Yes.
the thing, show up.
Yes. Totally. Um, Silver Luna, is there a version of your art or performance that came from a moment that you hadn't fully processed yet?
I think all of it. Oh man, I think the majority of my art is not a fully processed thought before it gets started. Maybe a few things. I might come up with a concept of an outfit that I might have in mind. I definitely did a few macrame drafts where I sketched them out beforehand. And then at the end of the day, they didn't look anything like the draft. I'm still trying to learn choreo, but personally, for me, I just don't have a process. Like, I don't have any
Feel that.
processes. Like,
Felt.
and I think that that's why flow is so important for me, why it is such a vital piece of my life, because I'm trying to get used to the idea of just doing things and like doing it whenever I'm kind of comfortable with it or not even, and just going with the flow. And so flow state literally makes you do that. And you can't think about what the next move is going to be. You just have to figure it out in that moment and try to make it look as pretty as you can if you want to.
I'm laughing as I'm thinking like, yeah, just whip the light whip. They said it was a light whip, so I used it like a whip,
What
not
is
a
so
flow
funny,
toy.
speaking of light whips, I used a light whip last night in my photo shoot, which I haven't used a light whip in years.
Ooh.
So it's funny that you bring it up today.
You have that light whip frequency and that pixel whip frequency. I'm excited to see those photos for sure. And I have another question for you. What is it like to be an advocate for other people's confidence and visibility while still working on your own?
Um, well, this is a tough question. I think it depends on what I'm advocating for. And
Mm,
this is like the most honest answer, very candid
yeah.
answer, is that a lot of times whenever I'm working on something within myself, I can feel that sense of envy of somebody else, that I want what they're doing, and then I have to fight it back. And that actually makes it harder, I mean, easier to like advocate for them. Once I identify that I'm doing that, I'm like, wait a
Mm,
second, I know what I'm doing. And I can be like, whoa, let's hype this girl up. Like, that's amazing. And then, but the hard part is whenever I don't notice it. And whenever I see somebody doing something that I really, really want, or I wish that I was doing as well as they are in, And then I'll find myself on occasion, I'll like just start skipping their posts or I won't pay attention to them at all. And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no. There's a point behind that. Like, that's because that's somebody that you want to
Yeah.
be like." And so
Ooh.
I think that that's the most telling version of yourself for sure. So what's it like to be an advocate for other people's confidence and visibility while working on my own? It's a testament to who you are as a person. But I think that it's really important to pay attention to that, to how you are whenever you're trying to advocate for somebody else. Where is it coming from? It has to come from a place of wanting to watch them succeed and be great, not because you want something for yourself. And that's something it's taken me years to get through, but now I feel pretty solid in it. And now I really like to, if I feel any kind of like envy or something, I'll step away from it and I'll come back with a clear slate. Because I always
Yeah.
want to hype girls up. Like, we're the ones that are making this world turn.
Yes. Oh, big facts, big facts. And I love that vulnerability and like honest answer. It's so true. Like a lot of times the places that we're feeling like the most resistance is like where we have that opportunity to grow. And when I've been jealous of other women, it's like, what part of me thinks I can't have that? What part of me thinks that I'm not good enough or not worthy of that? Or that's not possible for me. She's a few steps ahead, babe. Like just get started. And that is another like great way to like, okay, well, I guess I just got to do the damn thing. Like, just got to turn the camera on, try this whatnot thing.
I like to think of it as collaboration over competition because at a certain point, whenever you start looking at people or not that I'm looking at people with envy, that's not the right way to phrase it. At a certain point, you want to hold on. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's okay.
You're going. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, collaboration
Um,
over competition.
yeah, I look at it as collaboration over competition because once you start hyping other people up and you start advocating for other people, they're going to advocate for you too. And now you guys are on the same team. You could be doing the same thing on completely separate playing fields, advocating for the same thing separately, or you could advocate for her and then she starts advocating for you. And now you've both started raising the bar collectively higher.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. Oh, I love that so much. And it's such a better place to be in, and it's so much more fulfilling and impactful. Yeah, when we come from that place of collaboration over competition and like, why not? Why not?
Exactly.
Whoever told us that like to take up space means that like you're taking away space from someone else, like that is such a fucked like thought process. And yet like that is what so many of us, so many women in general grew up learning, that it's like, well, if you take up that space, that's taking away space from someone else. But the truth is like if you take up space, you just move some shit out of the way that actually created more space for someone else to come up right beside you. And she's creating more space for someone else. Yeah.
100%. It's worth it every time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, totally is.
Well, let's see. Well, do we want to wrap it up, Cherry, or do you want to should I ask you another question? I know you have
Yeah,
to
no,
get to your dinner.
I think that we're at time. So I mean, we can definitely talk more about this sort of thing. Um, but I'd love to know like what is one unfinished part of yourself that you're going to let be visible this week? Or what do you want someone in their messy middle to hear before we close this out?
Mm, someone in their messy middle. I want them to know that it's okay to be wrong and it's okay to try and fail because we're never at the end. We're always evolving. Even whenever we found the thing that we're really excited about and that's our thing going forward. Like you're never going to be at the end of evolving. You can always get better at what you're doing. So it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fail and just keep going and keep trying.
Yes. I love that.
Yes. What about you, Cherry? What do you have for our listeners?
I I would love our listeners to know that your authenticity is desperately needed. That someone is out there like desperately looking for your authentic self, the messy version of you. There's someone out there who's a few steps behind where you are right now, who needs to know that it's okay to show up exactly as they are at any step on your journey. There's someone behind you that is looking forward and needs to see you there. And if I, as a coach, I thought I needed all of these like accreditations and like certifications and licenses and all these things. And the truth is, no, there were just women that needed to hear what I had to say. And because I was a couple steps ahead. And so if I continued down that path of, no, I need to have this, and this before I show up for someone, then I would still be working on it, because there's always, like you said, there's always going to be something else to learn. So like, who am I to say that I'm not enough right now for someone? And why not me? And why not you, listener? Like, why not you? I just want you to ask that question to yourself in your messy middle. Why couldn't it be you that goes for the role, that starts the podcast, that starts the business and succeeds in it? Because we've all heard stories of people who have done it without completing high school, without completing college, without having the accreditation. Your life has been touched by someone who doesn't have all of the licenses that someone else might have. What's different about them that means that couldn't be available to you? Nothing. It's just they were willing to show up and do the damn thing. So the time is now to show up for yourself, and you don't have to focus on showing up for anyone else other than yourself, and then let that guide you.
That's right. I agree. It's a beautiful message, Jerry.
Thank you. Amazing. Well, this has been a really great conversation. And listeners, we would love to hear from you. Where are you showing up in the messy middle? What are you working on right now? What parts of yourself are you working on letting yourself be seen in? And definitely let us know if there's something that we can do to support you in your journey.
Yes. And as always, keep going, goddess.
Keep going, goddess.
Did this episode resonate with you?
If so, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share with the goddess in your life.
And as always, thank you so much for tuning in.
Let's go, goddess.